All right. Good afternoon, listeners. I am your host, Ryan Zhang, with my co host, Roy, and today we are accompanied by our guest speakers, Kyla, Kimberly, Isabella, and Jack. And fun fact, the majority of our dances are partner dances except for Roy's. But before we get into that, Roy, could you introduce everyone's dances for the listeners?
Yeah, man, sure. Great call out. I feel seen. I feel not attacked at all.
Yeah,
So thank you
yeah.
for that. That's awesome.
Of course.
The dances we have today. You know what? Mine did turn into a group partner dance. It
Oh,
took
has
a while,
it?
but we got there.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
We got
Okay,
there.
my fault,
Okay. All right.
Continue.
I'm not hurt.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
yeah,
hurt.
for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
I'm not hurt. Right at the top, we've got the Cossack dance, which is mine. We've got the waltz with Ryan. Got Jack doing the Australian bush dance. Isabella with polka. Kyla with korobori. And then Kimberly with the Irish jig.
Okay. Hello. So, beginning with the Irish step dance, it's lightning fast footwork, rigid upper body, and the unmistakable sound of hard shoes tamping across the wooden floors is more than just a performance, it's a cultural heartbeat. So, it originated centuries ago in Ireland, and this iconic dance form is in rich history as it is in this rhythm. From ancient Celtic rituals to Catholic feast days, the dance was woven into religious observances, celebrating life, harvest, and faith. Step dancing evolved into formalized art. Step dancing started at traditional Irish festivals called Fesana, where people gathered to celebrate important events. People enjoy the dance as it is not just about having fun. It's also a way to express culture, compete in dance, and show pride in Irish heritage. And just like the Irish step dance reflects the heartbeat of Irish communities, other cultures have their own deeply rooted traditions of dance and ceremony. Speaking of that, Kyla, can you tell us about the Korobi dance and the role it plays in Australian culture?
Yeah, so the Korobori dance started around the 1850s, where many Australians believed it was related to the indigenous people, which it wasn't quite sure the origin of it, which was a little confusing for a lot of people. So later on, it just became more of a dance of tourism, which kind of blurred the line between what it really meant. Luckily, because the storytelling passed down between indigenous members who were able to still share their stories, were able to still savor some of the dance, being able to retell its stories about its warriors and gods that they had served during the time. And then with that, it's a very interesting dance because then it then also became a dance during the Gold Rush era where they were sorry, it threw me off. Sorry,
No,
I
you're
was
good.
like, wait, sorry. And during the Gold Rush era, it became a dance of entertainment where the indigenous people then became a dance where it was able to express themselves about the attack and overpopulation of tourists that then began to come over Australia. But I know with that, sorry, I lost my place. My bad, guys. Anyways. With that, though, it kind of shows the strength and the resilience that this dance was able to take within with the Australian Indigenous people. Kind of talking about going back into our chapter with Daniela Kazed, who kind of states the purpose of this dance is a strong and mobile, a strong, shoot, guys.
No, you're good.
A strong and mobile body, which is vital for survival in prehistoric times. A dance that helps keep people strong. Rituals, dances, social dances were a way of life. Continuing that, I'm not the only dance though that is related with Australia. There's also what you're gonna talk about the bush dance over there.
That's right. I have I had the Australian bush dance, and the sort of aesthetic of the bush dance it can be similar to American line dances. It's a partner dance between groups of people. 2-on-2, but 1-on-1. But it's typically done in large gatherings as for social purposes. And like I said, it's a step dance, so it's played in 2/4 or 4/4 time. And my partner and I had a very hefty discussion about the similarities between the Irish bush dance and polka. So if you wanted to.
Yeah, so the polka is also very similar to the Irish bush dance in the way that it's also a partner dance, and it's also done in groups as well, but typically you're with a partner. And I feel like both of these dances can definitely relate because they're almost a form of community and society, a form of society coming together. And I think that they're both the dances play roles in like social gatherings or celebrations or festivals and those sorts of things. And as far as like the polka, it originated in like Central Europe, and it's very fast-paced, lively rhythmed, and performed in like couples or group formations, and it was very popular during the 19th century. And just like that, I think Jack's dance also was very much about like rhythm and tempo. So if you want to
Yeah,
like,
because
talk
it's all
about
about,
that.
because bush dance also like escalates, because it starts in 2/4, and then it like, as the song goes on, it
Yeah.
gets faster and faster. And like you said, they were both popular around the same time, and similar demographics of, it was favored among working class immigrants in Australia, and it was one of the ways that they were able to connect with cultures, and because Australia was used as a penal colony by the British Empire for so long, and so a lot of that history was sort of lost or erased. And this brings us back to a quote from the book by Darlene O'Cades. Dance serves as an effective means of communication and a way of preserving traditions in different communities and cultures, and the ritual of dance has the power to connect the dancer to a greater understanding of life force. And so that we saw that a lot with, because bush dance actually because so many of these immigrants to Australia were carrying these traditions like the polka, and Australian bush dance actually does incorporate polka music into their dance. It's sort of the music that they play. That's not to say that there aren't differences, of course. Mainly, the main difference is that Australian bush dancing music is typically played with the guitar, accordion, and fiddle, and the polka dance uses the
I think there's like trumpets
Right,
and more like
it's more brass.
yeah. Exactly.
So there is that. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of similarities, a lot of overlap, but there is that distinct difference. The polka was not the only dance that inspired the Australian bush dance. We are actually going to turn this over to our wonderful hosts because they're going to be discussing the waltz today.
Yeah, the waltz originated in Central Europe, to be specific, Austria and Germany, during the late 18th century. In time, it quickly became widely popular in Vienna, where it embraced the aristocracy? Am I pronouncing that right? Thank you. And the commoners alike there. And going into the historical context of waltz, it's one of the most renowned and long-lasting social dances. Originating emerges from 18th century, like I explained. The waltz revolutionized dance culture with its smooth, flowing movements mixed with its close-quarter embrace. So kind of similar to yours with like close-quarter partner type dance. And then this could be connected to in the book from chapter 9, where the topic of flowing was mentioned, which is connected with the dancers and their natural individual selves, their earthiness, and the root energy. Let's see. The dance's accessibility as well to both elite and common people symbolize the breakdown in rigid class structure within their society, which promoted inclusivity and shared cultural experiences. And I want to take it to Roy, and I believe you have some similarities as well in like chapter 9 as well, like I want to say flowing, or let's say I'm so sorry.
Physiological?
Yes, that.
We got there.
Yeah,
we
got there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of connection to that when it comes to the Cossacks, but you have to look, again, the historical context.
Yeah.
The people who danced the traditional Hopak Cossack dance weren't dancers. They were warriors. They were fighters. This dance was this group of people's only way to decompress after fighting. Their whole life was fighting. They were basically a roaming nation of mercenaries. That's what they were. And these dances were like their one time to decompress and let it all out and get, and deal with these emotions. That's why a lot of these dances historically were about battles and great feats and acts of heroism. Of course, that would end up changing. Now it is very much a stage court dance celebrating the history of the Cossacks, and it's because the Cossacks disappeared under the Iron Curtain. Once the Soviet Union took over, that was kind of it, and it was outlawed for a long time. They weren't allowed to do it. So when it came back after the fall of the Soviet Union in the 90s, it really was like, okay, this is our history. This is how we preserve who we are. And it serves as that connection to the past for the Cossack people. And even then now, if we want to talk about modern times, there are remnants of like ancient Cossack families popping up in the current Ukraine-Russian war. You can look at it, you can find it. They're out there. They're popping up again, and it really goes to show kind of the, they mentioned in the textbook in chapter 9, the healing that dance can do. The expressive motions, how much it can preserve history, how much it can help people heal. And that's, an example that's shown through Cossack dance, lasting through all this, lasting through all the oppression, and still going strong.
Do you think, I have a question for you, do you think it, strengthened their culture in a way?
Oh, definitely, because now it really isn't just, it's gone so much farther than, this is to, show off a heroic moment. Now it really is this is about preserving our culture and who we are.
Gotcha.
And it's a really powerful thing that how far it's come, and it really goes to show that dance has the power to do that for people.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So with all of that, I just want to ask all you guys a question real quick. So with all these dances, what was your guys' opinion on this, to be honest? I just want to see your guys' opinion on your guys' individual dances, and what do you think about this whole thing as a total?
Well, I think that even though we split up the work of tackling different subjects and with a partner, I think just getting to listen to everyone speak and sort of discuss how their dance is just a part of their culture and how it's preserving their history, I think we really see that it's just that dance is both a ever-changing cultural, but it's like a footprint, but it's also constantly shifting. So I think it's just, and all of our dances were sort of European in origin, so there's that common thread of, because like I said with the
unity, right?
Right, it's just a common common ancestor, I suppose.
Gotcha. Anything else? No, we're good. Well, I want to thank everybody up, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.